Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So if you're unaware, I'm a pretty big fan of comics and superheroes. And while I never discussed it on my channel before, I was a massive fan of the first season of Amazon Prime's Invincible, based upon the comic of the same name created by Robert Kirkman. The series is sort of a blend of something like Teen Titans or Batman Beyond that focus on a younger superhero, but with the added violence, gore, and adult themes of something like The Boys. The first season was a massive success, and fans like myself have been eagerly waiting for season 2, which just a couple weeks back finally aired, and now we are 4 episodes in and halfway through the second season. And honestly guys, this show still rocks. The first season was a very well-paced, action-filled set of episodes that kept you constantly engaged and eager to see what would happen next. What will happen when Mark finds out who his father is? What will Omni-Man do once his secret's out? Will Mark join him? However, season 2 has been a much different tone than the first, and honestly, I'm all here for it. I'm not really sure what the general consensus is on season 2 at the time of making this video. I haven't really looked up reviews or reactions, so these are just my thoughts on why season 2 has been genuinely great so far. For starters, it focuses much more on the characters and their emotions than in season 1, as season 2 has to deal with the fallout of the events in the season 1 finale, which means a lot of dark and frankly depressing moments, especially from Mark and his mother. And I personally love seeing the fallout of big events. If there's one major complaint I had with Avengers Endgame and post-Endgame MCU, is we haven't really focused enough on what the fallout would be from half the universe disappearing for 5 years and then suddenly being brought back. Whereas Invincible spends a lot of its first 4 episodes of season 2 focused on the characters and how they're dealing with the trauma and tragedy of season 1. What happens when your Superman-like figure turns out to be a homicidal maniac that plans on taking over your entire world? And then you have characters like Invincible and his mother Debbie, who have strong emotional connections to that very same homicidal maniac. One of the most soul-crushing lines from the finale of season 1 is when Omni-Man refers to his wife Debbie as a pet, which she does over here. Imagine the person you've fallen in love with, had a child with, and spent years of your life with referring to you as a pet. And what I love about season 2 of Invincible is that it not only references that line and how Debbie feels about it, but how truly traumatic that line is to hear. Honestly, a lot of season 2 has focused on Debbie and how she's dealing with what happened in the first season. Not only traumatized by those events, but feeling a huge sense of guilt over what her husband did, how many people he killed, and how many lives he's destroyed. And it's really heartbreaking to watch. On top of that, you have Mark, who's just trying to move on with his life and put what happened in the past, but still clearly very traumatized over his own father, not only nearly beating him to death, but dragging him through Chicago, killing thousands, simply to show Mark how meaningless their lives are. Which is really fucked up when you think about it for even half a second. Sure, season 2 of Invincible has its fair share of action sequences. Hell, episode 4, the mid-season finale, was truly fantastic and had some of the best fight scenes in the entire series up to this point. However, it wasn't the fight scenes that really gripped me in that episode. It was Omni-Man genuinely showcasing emotion and getting frustrated over feeling sad about the death of all these alien creatures whom he'd grown to care for. A character who's never felt empathy or sympathy, being overwhelmed with those emotions and not knowing what to do with them or how to deal with them, was some really interesting character writing. That's what I really love about season 2 so far. I'm sure with how episode 4 ended that the rest of season 2 will ramp up the excitement and include more action that a lot of the fans are interested in seeing, myself included. But as it stands now, I love that they're not just redoing season 1, but actually focusing on the characters and developing them. Not that season 1 didn't develop the characters, but in season 2, focusing on that fallout from the events of season 1 is something that I really appreciate. It makes the show feel like it has actual consequences and that the events that happen in the show have lasting impact. I didn't even mention it, but what they're doing with Adam Eve this season is also really well handled, showing her relationship with her family and her attempting to move away from being a superhero and just be helpful, but constantly failing is turning her into one of the show's most unique and intriguing characters. Either way guys, basically what I'm getting at is season 2 of Invincible, as it stands being halfway through the season, is continuing all of the elements that made season 1 great. Elements like good animation, great music choices, and strong voice acting, but also placing an emphasis on character and not just repeating the same story beats of that first season. Continuing the story, not repeating it, and a lot of shows should take notes from Invincible on how to properly develop your characters in the second season, because Invincible is handling it superbly. Well, that is it for today guys, a little bit of a shorter video, but I wanted to put this out before it got too late. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about season 2 of Invincible now that we are halfway through the season. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle? Let me know. Also guys, around 95% of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you did like this video, why not subscribe for more content like this? Also, smash the like button, and while you're at it, click the little bell notification button so you get notified when I post new content. And as always, I will see you guys on the next video.